How did you come about to join up with DeSales?
I spoke it into existence. If anyone ever believes about speaking things into existence, I was coaching at Gahanna Lincoln before with Mike Flushy, and a kid made me mad one day, and I just randomly said, I was like, if you guys keep messing with me, I said, I'm going to go coach with Colin Palmer over at DeSales, and that'll teach you guys. And it was just a joke, and I ended up telling the joke to one of my former wrestlers, and in the middle of April, he texted me, and he sent me a post. He sent me Colin's post that he was looking for coaches for DeSales. So he was like, Coach, you said you were going to go to DeSales. Here you go. And I really didn't want to leave Gahanna. Gahanna they are community. Hands down. They're the kids. I loved all the kids. I loved the stats. Even Coach Flushy, he made wrestling for me fun when it was getting kind of dark for me, and not having fun and wanting to not do it anymore. He made it really fun for me. But it was kind of my time to go. We just had some disagreements on some things, and I contacted Colin. We were rivals with our youth programs. I coached at Dodge Recreation Center for 9 years. And funny story, I actually met Colin before that. There was a Ohio, the Tournament of Champions. There was a Tournament of Champions in in April. And I had a parent whose kid got hurt, wrestled at UA, had a very, very bad concussion where he had to learn how to read and write and stuff like that. From UA, and he wanted to come and coach at a recreation school because he said the rich kids didn't need help. The inner city kids, need to have a chance too. So he came and coached with me. We were going to do. He came to coach me for a couple years. We were going to do kind of like an open mat before the Tournament of Champions. And she said, "Hey, I know Colin Palmer," and I was like, "Okay, whoever that is." And this is when Colin was actually kind of hurt. I think with like a leg injury or something like that. So he was coming in on crutches, but I remember meeting him. I don't know if he remembers meeting me, but we actually met before. And so fast forward, he got Palmer Wrestling started. I was getting Dodge Wrestling on its way up and everything like that. So we would kind of see each other and stuff like that. And I mean, our kids would battle. It'd be a battle with everybody, and some of my kids started going to him, some of his kids started coming to me, so we were kind of trading kids back and forth, kind of trying to solidify whose program was better and stuff like that. So I had a disdain for Colin. I didn't hate him, I had a disdain for him, but anytime we saw each other, hey, what's up, hey, what's going on, bro? I tell the story that we almost got into a fight at the OAC grade school states.
Oh no!
Because I was coaching a kid. I was coaching one of my kids. One of his kids was wrestling one of my kids on the mat, and he was wrestling. And one of his other kids was wrestling behind us, so he was in the chairs behind us. So I'm yelling at my kid coaching, and they had an injury time or something like that, and Colin's yelling behind me. I said, dude, if you want to coach, go sit in the chair. He goes, I'll coach anywhere I want to. I said, oh, really? Do you want to do this right now? And so, we kind of got exchanged words. And then I saw him again, and I was like, what's up, Colin? He goes, hey, what's up, buddy? It was just, just that playful banter that we had. Yep. So, that was kind of our history. And so we went, so like I said, I hit him up. I said, dude, hey, it's Yetts. I heard you're looking for coaches. I said, you want me to send my resume? He goes, I know who the fuck you are. He says, meet me here on Wednesday. I said, okay. He goes, we're having a team meeting. I said, all right, cool. So it was at BW3's at Easton. And so we get there. I get there. I'm the first one there. Colin's not there yet. Colin is on Colin Palmer time. He says, that's CP stands for Color People Time, but it's Colin Palmer time. But he gets there when he gets there. And I get there, and I'm the only person there, so I'm standing next to I'm standing at the hostess thing, and again, you just feel something behind you. So the door opens, and I'm like, "There's someone behind me, like someone that I know." I turn around, and it's Tom Jones, and so me and Jones have history too in youth wrestling. He was at Whetstone Rec, I was at Dodge Rec. We had a couple battles. Eventually he shut down to kind of focus more on the high school, and then all his kids came to me, and anybody who he would get, he'd say go to Yetts. So so we had battles, but we were never like bitter enemies. We were always kind of friendly with each other because we're in the Recs, and not too many kids come out for wrestling in the Recs. So he would always send them to me. And so I turn around, I see him, and I'm like, it's kind of like the Superman meme where everybody's pointing at everybody.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what are you doing here? He's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, I'm here for Carlin. He goes, I'm here for Carlin too. And he was like, oh, this is going to be good. So we were just like, okay, like what is Carlin doing here? Like, all right, he has me here. He has Tom Jones here. Like, what's going on? So, we all kind of sat down. And, we're all talking, and I hadn't really made a decision if I was going to go to the DeSales or not. And so, we're talking, and he, Tom, you've been at Whetstone forever, and, you're a great coach, and we heard great things, and blah, 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 blah. And so here I am sitting there like, here's Colin Palmer, Ohio State, Palmer Wrestling. Here's Tom Jones, Whetstone Wrestling, yeah. I don't have a resume. I coached, and I say that, and then I'm going to name my resume, and they're going to be like, well, you do have one. But in my head, I don't. Right after I got out of high school, I went to school, Hawaii Pacific University. I coached at Iolani High School. I came back home, coached back at Harding Middle with my former coach, Joe Yannock. Coached 3 years at Dublin Kaufman with Bob Stoll. I was the head JV coach. That's a funny story. When we get done with that, remind me to tell you that story.
Okay.
I coached with Bob for 3 years, head coach at Eastmore Academy for a year. I took a year off. My mom's actually the one who got me the job at Dodge Recreation Center. She was cooking down there, and they needed a wrestling coach, and I was kind of like, I'm done. But then I did it and coached there for 9 years. 2 years at Lincoln, and now I'm there. And, so I do have a resume. I have some success. I do have state champs and everything like that, but I just didn't see myself on their level. And, Colin, he's talking to me, and he's like, dude, he goes, the one thing I like out of everything that I've done, and I can't believe he knew this about me. He goes, the thing I like about you is how you get with your kids and how you take video of them. And I'm like, how I take video? He goes, yeah. He goes, I've seen you, with your iPad, same thing. That's how I've always been. With my iPad and my stand, running around taking video. He goes, I see you sit with your kids and go through video and then see them in their next match and they get it. And I'm like, that's what you know about me? I was like, wow. I was like, that's just, I'm not, you got bigger and better things to worry about, but you see me working with these kids and, breaking down video. He goes, yeah, that's what we need. That's going to make us successful. And I was like, wow, okay. And, we had one or two more meetings before I made a decision, and I kind of figured. And at one of the meetings, it was kind of like who was coming up, who's the 7th and 8th graders that are going to be coming in the next couple years. Right. And I was like, dude, I coached against that kid. I coached against that kid. It was like, this is going to be like, he's planning ahead. Like, this is going to be good. And I had no other choice but to leave Gahanna. I really didn't want to. But I was like, this is an opportunity to really do something. It's me, it's Colin, it's Jones, Tyler Powers is there, former rival Collins there too. It's like, dude, it's going to be a badass team, but it's going to be a badass coaching staff. And it was like, wow, this is going to be good. So yeah. So then we had a little meet the team thing. They introduced everybody, and again, I don't live in my own head. I just don't think that I'm that important for people to talk about. But I had parents come up to me and goes, hey, Yetts, what's going on? I'm like, who the hell are you? And they're like, oh, I wrestled, over here, and your kids were kicking my kid's ass and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, great. And so one of the parents was like, one thing I want to know is why did you guys all decide to come coach with Colin? So Tom gives his speech. He's kind of an honorary DeSales wrestler because he wrestled with them. He went to Whetstone, and he knew Marinelli and everybody like that and everything. And so he has the history. A couple other people say a couple other things, and they get to me, and I was like, actually, I hate Colin. I said, actually, our kids have beat each other's ass so much. I said, what the hell? And let's see what we can do together. I said, dude, this is really fun. I said, but actually, I really didn't like you, to be quite honest. But we'll see what happens. And it's been a trip, dude. It's been a real cool trip. And Colin's a cool dude. And I mean, I love his coaching style. He's just really relaxed in the room. He values everybody's opinion. Again, I don't think that I'm on that level in my head, but he talks to me, he talks to Jones, he talks to Powers. He wants everybody's opinion. He's not the smartest person in the room. And when you have a coach like that, everybody's going to flourish because you see everybody's opinion that's different. Like I said, I go over film with kids and stuff like that. I'm doing my role. Tom's doing his role. Powers is doing his role. Everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I mean, it's all clicking for everybody. And it's just, I had fun at Gehenna, but I'm a kid in the candy shop here with all the talent and everything that we're creating and that's coming up and we're getting ready. And one thing that me and Tom kind of got assigned to was getting the new kids, the first years, the ones who aren't that good yet, getting them to a point to where, okay, hey, we're going to get you guys ready. Because we did a lot of split practices. And it's like, okay, we're going to split the practice up. We're going to have new kids and we're going to have what at the time they called the Elite Seven, do their thing. And eventually we want everybody to mesh. And that's just how it planned out. And it worked perfectly. We got the kids up to speed on how to shoot, how to defense. And we just started kind of throwing a little bit at a time into the elite ones. And it was like, okay, they're here. Let's get you here. We got them there. And I mean, we rocked and rolled with sectional champions, stuff like that. Have been sectional champions because of the new kids who stepped up and who really kind of, took it on their own to, I was on the fence about wrestling. I'll do it. But then they got that taste. And it was like, oh boy, wow, let's do this. Sectional champs, CCL champs this year.
Yeah.
First time in since 2009.
Yeah.
It's an amazing ride. And I'm like sitting back and watching and go, am I a part of this? Is this reality? And it's such a cool thing.
Well, you guys are really building something special there. There's no lie. It's you have, when you have a name like Colin Palmer, right? Everybody just thinks that all of a sudden it's going to be an overnight success, and he's building it the right way. He really is, and instilling values in the younger kids, and building a foundation. It's not going to happen overnight. Yeah, but I know he's doing it the right way, and you guys are all part of that. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy because we all have these relationships with these kids, and over time, we've all learned to be friends with the kids, but to be friendly, but not friends, and to build these relationships. And so, with me and Tom being former head coaches, it's like we enjoy being the assistant. We're not trying to take charge. We want to work with the kids. We're getting to do what we want to do, that we want to do as head coaches, but we had the paperwork and we had all this other stuff that we had to take care of as head coaches. And it's like, now we're developing, it's kind of, I don't want to kind of, throw a little advertisement, but it's kind of like Ohio State develop here, develop at DeSales. And, we're developing these kids who don't know a lick of wrestling, and it's working. And, our heavyweight Ray, he got hurt last year. First match ever, broke collarbone, was set out for the year. And this year was kind of trying to get him back into the groove. And, working with him, they give me all the credit. It's a team effort. They go, what you did with Ray and him coming. I'm like, it's not me. It's the team. It's, everybody. It's Max helping Ray, seeing the potential in Ray. It's everybody helping him, but they want to kind of give me the praise. But I'm like, dude, all I did was just be tough with him. I was tough with him. I compared football to wrestling and let him know, hey, you can do this in football because you can learn this in wrestling. And he, it clicked with him. He got it. He got a couple big wins, a couple tournament placing and stuff like that. And he just kind of turned it on. We have a 106 pounder who he's cross country runner, and the winner he did indoor track, swimming, and wrestling. all at the same time.
Wow.
And he was kind of on the fence. I don't know about wrestling, and we were at sectional actually this weekend. He was on the fence about it, and he was like, but sectional, he got a big win over Watterson, and he was like, let's go, and it was like, I'm doing this next year, let's go, and it's like wrestling. He caught that wrestling bug, so it's really cool. It's really cool to kind of see the kids develop and catch that, and it's like it's go time. Like what do I need to do in the off season? What do I need to do to get better? What do I want to do to beat Watterson every single time now? They're catching it. But yeah, it's really cool to see.
Well, and Watterson is building a program too, so it's going to be fun to watch from the side, from the bleachers. It's going to be fun to watch that rivalry go. Yeah,
and it's really cool to it's not fun when you have somebody dominating it all the time.
Yeah.
It's fun when it goes back and forth and when you can battle out and stuff like that. Like I said, Bishop Reedy ended up taking second. I remember we were at CCL's and I looked up at the scoreboard, Watterson's ahead. I turn around, Bishop Reedy's ahead, and they just beat Watterson. I'm like, oh my God, like Watterson was supposed to, it's supposed to come down to like us too. And here Bishop Reedy ended up taking second and knocking Watterson to third. And it was just like, wow, that's what makes it fun. And funny story about the Bishop Reedy coach, because I know him and he's a really cool guy. And I had went to the CCL meeting earlier this year. They have a meeting before the school season starts. And he saw me at Gahanna with Flushy and everything like that. And we had our 145-pounder Chuck Williams wrestle, and his kid, they were always pounding it out, his 145-pounder when they met. And so I go behind him. I go, hey, bud, what's up? He goes, why are you here? He goes, oh, fuck. He goes, Colin's just making me mad right now. I know what he's doing. He's like, dude, you're going to have a fucking team just out the ass over the next couple of years. Goes, God damn it, I thought I had a chance. He's like, I was like, well, I said, Jones is here too. He goes, from Whetstone? He was like, oh, come on. He goes, I'm not giving anybody else a chance. And I was like, we'll see. I didn't know the team at the time. And I was like, we'll see. But it's been fun. And